childlike wistfulness looking up at a second woman who is perhaps not a woman at all. The second woman has a mustache and a goatee, shades of sexual desire for a man who is not there. Now let us conclude with one of the most very famous of all dream images. This is Fuseli's painting of the nightmare. Fuseli was born in 1741 and died in 1825, so his long life made him a contemporary of, among others, Rembrandt and Vermeer in Holland, Gainsborough in England, Guardi and Canaletto in Italy, and de la Tour Chardin de la Croix en Ingres in France. Now, what do we see in this painting? First, there's a sleeping young woman draped helplessly over what appears to be a bed or couch of some kind. Sitting on her abdomen is a snub-nosed demon, looking grotesque and not human, and throwing an ominous shadow on the curtain behind. And from the curtain emerges a wide-eyed horse, presumably the nightmare herself. The horse, a mare, that visits anguished dreamers. The painting depicts helplessness and anxiety, with the horrifying stare of the nightmare organizing the entire composition. Interestingly, here, there's no division between the representation of waking and dreaming worlds. There's only the prostrate, unconscious woman dreamer and the figures of her nightmare all crowded into one frame. Whereas in earlier paintings, as we've seen, the divide between waking and sleeping was clearly represented. Here, the boundaries blurred. What this suggests is a question to which we will return shortly. Now, we still don't know what a dream is. We've seen that dreams defy definition in important ways. First, we can never know a dream directly as we dream it. We can only remember dreams. So dreaming is a bit like speaking to friends in distant time zones. There's a problem with the here and now. Second, there's nobody else who can know the dream as we know it. In order for the dream to be communicated, it must first be remembered and then told. Therefore, definitions of dreams driven by either behavioral or physiological concerns, for instance, blips on a screen, can never even remotely match the experience we have of dreaming. Third, dreams are not and never can be texts. They are sensual experiences that have nothing to do with writing. Those writing on dreams have plugged into a written tradition, whether Greek, Roman, Christian, or Islamic. Freud is but one example of a major figure for whom dream interpretation is the interpretation of a text. Fourth, with our history of sharp distinctions between religion and superstition, together with the institutionalized skepticism of the Catholic and Protestant churches towards dreams in general, and its history in the tradition of heresy in particular, dreams today often get defined as inconsequential experiences linked to bodily functions. Visions, on the other hand, when had by certified saints or other holy figures, tend to be on the side of the true. Thus, the distinction we make between our categories of dreams and visions pick up on the ancient Greek categories. Visions are true, whereas mere dreams are deceitful and often false. To have thus demoted dreams by using visions to one-up them would seem to manifest our Western penchant for rationalism, and also to smuggle in Christian doubts. Our contemporary distinction between good and bad dreams is therefore strikingly at odds with the ancient distinction between true and false dreams. Finally, what are we to think of the representational divide in paintings of dreams before the middle of the 18th century? The most accessible answer is that dividing dreams from waking did not present the same anxieties as it does after the middle of the 18th century and up to the present day. Might accepting and recognizing the divide paradoxically indicate respect for dreaming experiences and for the imagination? Conversely, might the conflation of dreaming and waking indicate fear of dreams and of the incomprehensible worlds they render? Or is the conflation of a demotion of the status of dreams as evidence of a world beyond that our senses and reason? These, then, are the questions with which I will leave you. In future programs, we will continue our exploration of dreams and why it's so difficult to define them and their representation in the visual arts. I look forward to seeing you then.